Hello fellow Scratchers, I'm Griffpatch. Do you feel lucky? Well, do ya? Because today our classic platformer is suddenly looking a lot more dangerous. Yes, we are going to add some very pointy spikes and some very hot lava. I don't think Scratchy or Guy will thank you for this, unless they happen to be adrenaline junkies, and then perhaps they will. So right off, what do? Yes, be a good coder and save a copy of your project. This is episode 7. Okay, let's get scratching. Run the project. I'm going to just scout my level for a good place to add some danger. Yes, I think scene 2 is a prime target. Now, the way I'm going to do this is to make a duplicate of the level sprite, and we'll rename it Danger. Position's a little off, as you can see on the project stage, but we can just click the green flag and that'll all snap together. Sweet! So open the Danger Sprite costumes. Do make absolutely sure you are editing the Danger Sprite costumes and not the level Sprites costumes. You don't want to lose your carefully drawn levels. Have you checked? Really? Okay then. Within the Scene 2 costume of the Danger Sprite, I am now drawing a very, I mean seriously killer red square. That will, with a little cunning manipulation, soon become a deadly red triangle or even a red spike. Yes, that's what it is. Maybe even 3 spikes. More pointy perhaps? Yeah, good. So this is where things get interesting. We now have to remove everything from this costume that is not deadly. Delete, delete, delete. Here we go, cleaning up. Nice. Now you should see the spikes showing in the stage alongside the level that we of course didn't delete by mistake after all my warnings. Good job. So then, we now also have to delete all the other costumes from the Danger Sprite, just leaving this one. And let's run the project. Hold the phone. Why are those spikes showing on scene 1? Do you know? Well, it's because we are always showing the Danger Sprite, and this is the only Danger costume available, so it will always show. To fix this, we don't have to have a Danger costume for every scene in our level, no. Make a new blank costume and name it blank. Then in our scripts, find the When I Receive Change Scene receiver. When we change scene, we try to change the Danger costume to the given scene name. Now, we do have a Scene 2 Danger costume, but we don't have a Scene 1. When you change to a non-existent costume, Scratch stays on the last costume it was set to, so it doesn't end up changing. To address this, we add a new switch costume above the first, and switch to the blank costume. Now, if the second costume change doesn't work, we'll remain on the blank costume. That's neat. Running that now, and you can see those horrible, scary, pointy things have vanished. Phew! However, I highly suspect if I walk into the next screen... Oh, they're horrible! Oh no! Oh wait, this is what we wanted. So yes, I can just test popping back and forward between 2 scenes to ensure the Danger Sprite only appears at the right time. Great. So I guess now we need to finally face our greatest fear and touch the... Oh, I'm alive. Gosh, they looked so deadly too. It appears we have more work to do. Click into the player sprite. Now, when we lose a life, we are going to want, for the time being, to make use of this define, reset, and begin level script. Before we proceed to do that, we can make a simplification. We'll use the begin scene custom block. We already use this to change scenes when walking off the edge of a scene, but we can use it here, now, as well. Fill in the scene number with a 1, matching the set scene from the top, which we can now delete. Next, set the X to -150 and the Y to 55. And that's it. It replaces these last 3 blocks completely, as it also performs these broadcasts itself. Smash the green flag just to make sure everything is still tickety-boo. Yep, we are spawning just the same. And when we restart from another scene, we appear back on scene 1. Good. You know what's been bugging me? Drop in a point in direction block here and set it to 90. I prefer us to point the same way each time we start. Right, let's lose a life. Find the When I Receive Tick Last script. The The best place to look for collisions with dangerous sprites is here, after everything is finished moving and the costumes are all displayed. At the bottom, if touching danger, then we'll now broadcast a new message. Lose life. This is going to be real simple. Find some space, and when I receive lose life, start by stopping all the other scripts in this sprite. That stops the main game loop right away, otherwise things would really mess up. Now you can play around here with your players lose a life animation or effect. I'm just going to fade the player away for starters with a repeat 10, and then change ghost effect by 10. 10 tens is 100, so that does a full fade out. Then we can wait for half a second, 0.5, before we then reset the game. Reset and begin level. Are you ready for this? Here we go. Progress on to scene 2. And sit on a spike. Ouch! We fade away as planned. Oh, bother. The good news is we are back on scene 1. The bad news is that we have appeared to be invisible. And of course we are. We never reset the ghost effect, did we? Scroll back to the when I receive game loop script. We'll simply add a set ghost effect to 0 right at the top before the main game loop begins. Cool. Let's run that again. Here we go. Ouch! And yes, we have reset. I can see Scratchy. Super. Yes, in the words of Cap, I could do this all day. But seriously, who would want to? We need more spikes, more danger, more everything. Of course, adding more spikes to scene 2 is no problem. We can just draw them in and position them by looking at the stage for reference. And yep, they are just as deadly as their siblings. So how about adding danger on another scene like scene 1? Well, easy. Just create another costume for scene 1, naming it carefully as scene 1, capital S, then position it again using the stage as a reference. And run the project. As you can see, the costume changing works great, and we can have dangers on any scene we want. But Griffpatch, what about the uber cool animating lava effect you had in the video from episode 1? Ah, right. I guess we should add some of that, right? We could just draw the lava costume like we did the spikes, but let me show you how we can also copy costumes to make lining things up easier. In the level sprite, just drag scene 3 into the danger sprite. And then back in the danger sprite, we are free to go to town drawing our danger lava exactly where we want it. There. And then of course, delete the rest of the level as it isn't meant to be dangerous. So that leaves our lava pool. But it's supposed to be a little more dynamic than that so that we know it's lava. We want it to pulse up and down. For this, we click back into the Danger Sprite code tab. We only want the lava to pulse up and down, not the spikes. So use an if block in the change scene script, checking for when scene is equal to 3. That's this scene. Now here's the beauty of this platforming engine. Although we are using the tick broadcasts, because we are not restricting them using broadcast and waits, we can still use a forever loop in here to create an animation without worrying about slowing down the rest of the game. To make the lava move up and down, set Y position to. Now this is a common math script for circular motion. We need a multiply. On the right, a sine operator, sin. Then, in that, another multiply. On the left, use timer. OK, there are 2 remaining free values to fill out. The left one is how far you want the lava to wibble up and down. We'll say 5 pixels up and down. And the right side is how fast you want it to wibble. 360 means it will do a full cycle in 1 second. Let's see what that looks like. Oh yeah, that is cool. But do feel free to play with these values. Maybe we'll slow it down a bit. Try 180 to half the speed. And tweak the distance. Maybe just 3. There, isn't that something? Now, if you want to have spikes and lava on the same screen, you may want to duplicate this danger sprite into 2 sprites, so that one can move while the other stays still. That's the simplest way perhaps, but you could also use clones to accomplish the same effect with a single sprite. Right, that is all the teaching I have for now, until the next episode where we will be finally looking at moving platforms. However, before we finish, I really want to share with you more of the amazing projects you Scratchers have been submitting to the studios. Can I start with Andrei Desgas 1945's project? First impressions are like, wow, look at the art, and the animation is awesome. Oh man, there's a hole. Watch out for that one. It's a bit hard to see with all the shades of sand. Yeah, that's my excuse anyhow. There's a bridge, nice. And look at the wall sliding costume. It's excellently done. I wonder what game this character is originally from. Either way, this Scratcher has done a great job getting them into this project. Now these platforms are a little bit more tricky. I'm really enjoying though playing through this level. Oh no! I fell to my death, and I'm right back at the start. You know what? We are going to have to cover checkpoints in our platformer series, aren't we? Yeah, checkpoints. Next project up, Boom Bang 112481632. What's this? Press 1 or 2 to see the hitbox. Oh, cool, look. You can switch to see the actual hitbox versus the level that you are seeing. Nothing hidden on this scene. Now. This is more interesting. See, the top platform is a trick, and the real entrance is below. I like that. Really cool. Try going here, it says, but oh no, that was a trick too. Okay, this next project is by John. Do I want a whirling effect or no? Let's go for the whirling effect. Oh my goodness, it's like that whirling effect from that other game, but turned up to the 9s. It's really disorientating. And maybe perhaps a little bit much. I do get a bit travel sick. I think I shall try it without. I feel like the level is still moving. Right, I'm going to try going up here. This level's working really well. We can move from screen to screen, and the colours are nice. I really want to get up here. I can't do it. Right, I'm going to come back to that, I'm sure. There's lava and spikes already. That's cool. Bit of wall jumping. Watch out for that spike. Oh, that's a tricky one. If I just come down a bit. Yeah. And coming back to the left. Is this going to link up with that little bit at the top? Yay, celebration. I like that. Right, let's try something else. This project is by Logic Q Dev 2. Oh, it's me as a ball. And the level's moving. Look at that, moving platforms. How cool. Wow, I'm really boingy. It almost feels like a combination of my ball physics project, but it may be not quite so, but nearly. It doesn't roll down these slopes, but that's cool. Wow, I'm so fast. That's the end of the level. Well, it's cool though. It's got a lot of potential. I like the way the face rolls. That's good. And it leaves a big trail of me. Next we have Sky High 173. What have you got for us? This is a pleasant looking level. Look at the clouds. I love that. And I've seen this before, but maybe in a previous version. We got this vertical bit of... Oh well. Let's try that again. Okay, now I need to watch... No! Oh look, a different music track. It's nice because I'm going a different way. I feel... that was a bit of a sudden drop. Let's be a bit more careful this time. I love the background. You've seen the hazy background. The hazy background in this. No. This is a bit harsh. Let's try that one more time. Okay, here we go. I got this. I've got this. Yes. So we can progress on with this level. Watch out for that little... it's so harsh, it goes right back to the start. See, we definitely need checkpoints. Okay, this project's by Bam Bang 112481632. Don't you just love these usernames? Now this one appears to be almost like a bug report. There's a known bug that you can wall jump up a wall if you can just press the keys at just the right time. And I am not doing very well at that. Obviously, I will not do a very good job of beating this level. Come on. I can do it. Hey, no, got it. There, see, did you see that? Oh my goodness, you have to do the whole thing on this wall too. There's no way I have got the skill to pull this one off. Come on. No, there you go. Maybe you do better. Okay, thank you Halo Lolly for submitting your project to the studio. Oh, we got a nice soundtrack and a very pleasant green and blue sky. Oh, rectangular. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, so we've got some quite tricky little jumps here on the next screen, so be careful. Okay, I think I got this. Getting more difficult as time goes by, so got to be... Oh, wow, look at this. It's all about getting these jumps right. Okay, it's definitely a little jumping game, this one. No vertical scrolling on this game. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, yes. That was a close one. You're never quite sure what's going to come. Oh, my goodness. Right, big jump now. Yeah, I think as long as I do big jumps off the edges of these really tricky bits, I'm going to be up. Oh, I'm stuck, but I've won. Hooray, well done me. Thank you for that game. Now, Scratcher Nguyen, you have submitted a very psychedelic project. I'm quite a little cat, and I can run like the wind. And the music's nice. Going to the air. I guess Oh, I'm trapped. I'm not sure I can get back. Oh well, on to the next then. So, Sabco. So this one looks like it follows my tutorial quite well, and a bit more colourful than mine. Oh, I like this little side door. Oh, the level's a bit bigger than mine then. Oh. Come on, come on, come on. I can climb up here. No, I can't. I better go down. Okay, AHTFLM. How on earth would you pronounce that? At Film 1? Okay, you've given us this rather exciting looking black and white project. I like that. And it's kind of like a happy cube. I can wall jump, that's cool. But I think I'm going to go to the right here. It's like film noir version of Guy. Oh, look at his eyes move. Do you see that? That's really quite cool. Yeah, this is going pretty well. I like this. This is a bit of a different... oh no, I'm stuck. Oh, I love my eyes though. Good work. Okay, next up, Sweep Sweep 2. Now look at these lovely colours. Oh, spikes. That was lucky. Oh, yeah, that resets me right back to the start. Let's have a look over here. No, no, no. Oh, this is a bit harsh. Right, let's go somewhere a bit safer. Which way to go? Oh, I guess we'll... Oh, down we go then. I think we're the same... Oh my goodness. Quite short. Oh, I just teleported through the wall. Oh no, my goodness. What on earth's going on? I think the scene changing is a little bit obscure. Oh look, the spikes disappeared, and I fell through the ceiling that wasn't there. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness me. This is quite something. Oh my goodness. If I could fall down here. Oh, look at this. I can go super fast. I'm going to have to end at some point. My goodness, imagine what level I'm really on. Oh, see? There's a lovely thing about this engine is that because we're doing that clever step thing, we can actually fall really, really fast and still collide with surfaces that are really thin. So that's a really good thing about this engine. Right, let's go on to the next one. So this next one's by Maths Games. We've got this nice blue colour. I like that. I like the fact that the level is all contained and it's quite nice. It's got like smooth walls and nice gradients and nothing too sharp. Oh, this bit's a bit more rectangular, but I like the fact that it's all contained up there. Okay, next up we have Ather Z, or Ather Z. We've got some lovely colour changing going off here, the level and Scratch Cat. The basic platforming says, oh, yeah, we've got up and down scrolling there. Scene changing, sorry. Oh, that looks like a big spike on the ceiling. Watch out. If I just jump over here. Whoa! Oh my goodness. Oh, look. It's like a little party zone, to be honest. It feels like a disco. Okay, Rapunzel6262, what have you got for us? Wow, I feel like I'm jumping to this music. Oh, did you hear that pop? Oh, look at the nice gradients. I like that. Oh, what am I standing on here? Like sand or something. It's quite fun with the big Scratch Cat and the nice chunky level. Oh, I wonder what I'm going to. This is quite a pleasant little stroll through this little jumping thing. Oh, there we go. I like it. Thank you, Rapunzel. Oh, I cannot pronounce this one. QHRAWQEKJ. Was that about right? But my goodness, this is looking like exactly like my initial tutorial level. Wow, I'm impressed that there's a moving platform. I seem to be a little bit stuck to it. But the lava is working brilliantly. So we are going to be covering the moving platforms in the next tutorial, and I'll show you how to get them working a little bit better than this. But this is a really good job. Well done. I would say your name, but you know, I just haven't quite got the language. Oh, Lemon! I think I've won. What an excellent ending. Thank you for that one. Next up, we have Chok Un Thanawat. That's a brilliant username. Is this like a power-up? Now I've collected it, I think I can actually jump higher than I could before. Oh, that is such a cool idea. I love power-ups. I wonder if there's any more in this level to be found. I'll just have a jump around and see. There, another power-up. So to the right. Oh, look! Look how fast I can go. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. It's like I'm being blown around by some huge wind or something. Oh, imagine if is this combined with my jumping? I don't think I can jump as high now. But imagine if I could jump as high as I did before and had this sideways motion. It would be absolutely insane. Right, let's have another one. This one is by Triple DRV. And it's looking pretty similar design to my original project. I like that. Wow, I'm so fast. I can jump really high. The problem with making things jump so fast or so high is that it actually can make it quite hard to control because you get stuck to the walls and things. But oh no, game over. I jumped up through the ceiling and got stuck. Next up is Scratchmaker 2321. Oh, now I'm really digging this guy. Oh, and they've got nice sounds too. Look at his animation. It's fantastic. His little arms. Oh, when he jumps, he puts his like finger up in the air. Like, cool. Oh, dead. Oh, harsh. I don't like dying, but it's good. It's good. Yeah, we got all the features. I do. Yeah, that little jump noise is brilliant. And his animation's brilliant too. I love it. Now if I can just climb up here. I wonder what his wall sliding looks like. Cool. Okay, I'm getting this now. I think I'm gonna... Oh, we're here though. Oh, down. Okay, let's try that one again. This is really quite fun. Come on then. Okay, so down here. Now, careful now. I need to go just the right amount to... Oh! Right, skip back up the top. This time I've got to be really, really careful. So how far was it? I think a little... No! Not again! Come on! There, yes! Now, going careful now. Come on, little jumps. Ooh, little jumps. I know where they are, and I can get up here. And I saw that thing down at the bottom there, so I guess if I... Do you know? I guess if I just... Yeah, okay, we made it. Now, can I get up this? Oh no. Oh, have I come down too early? Oh, I think I've come down too early. Never mind. Next one. Dommy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 has got the night platformer for us. This looks really thematic. Oh, look at the rain. Oh, and a lovely music track too. Oh, that's brilliant. And the light beam around me as well. Oh, that's really cool. It gives a real atmosphere to the game. Oh, I feel like I'm falling down though. Down every time I move left or right, it's be going down a level. I love the graphics. They quite simple. Oh, green. Did you see the green? What was that? How can I get back up there again? Oh, here we go. I got it. Now. Is it? Oh, even lighter. It's like the higher up I go, the brighter it gets. If I could just get up, if I could wall jump off the right here, then I might be able to get over there. Oh, can I even get there? Oh no, it's going darker again. I want to get back to the green. There, I'm it. Oh no, I'm stuck in a wall. Oh no. Oh, Bob. Maybe if I go right instead. Okay, have I been here before? Hey, I've made it, but that... Oh, I guess that's it then. I guess I've seen all the green. But that's really nice. I love it. I think that could be a really good game if we could just expand it out and add a few more things. This next one's by Eggy Revilis. And it's got a really, really funky little character. I love the way his little feather wibbles as he walks along like a little knight. Wonder what the wall jump... Yeah, wall jumping works. Oh, look at that little slide. You just see his little hand come out. Oh, it's so sweet. Oh, what's this? I'm not sure what that is. Don't think it does anything yet. I'll just try going off to the left. No, I'll go over to the right. Oh, what is this? Oh, no, I don't think I can. Oh, I thought it was a little secret way. It was just another little platform. Oh, this is intriguing. There's all these little ways in this level. Can I get across here? Oh, come on. Jump. Yay. What's over here then? Oh, I'm not going to make that. I think we're back to the start. Oh, I love it though. Look at that little guy. I always love his little hand that pops out too. It's so sweet. I think that's all we've got for this level, but that's a really cool game. I like the look of that. And Dan47725 has brought us the Minecraft platformer. And look at that. I've got a big rainbow trail as well. Oh, it's a bit of a hyped up Minecraft theme, I think. Wow, you've gone to town making this. It must have been quite hard to place all these little blocks. But it's cool. Oh, imagine if you could wall jump like this in Minecraft. I bet there's a mod for it. Whoa, I think I found a cave. I expect to find a creeper any moment, but luckily not. Can I get up here? I can't see how I could. Maybe back. No, I think I've found the end of Minecraft. Okay, thank you 250119test2 for this submission. The thumbnail looks beautiful. Yeah, look at this. The level design. Oh, I died. The graphics are really nice. And look, we've got checkpoints. Checkpoints. You've beat me to it. That's really cool. Oh, but thank goodness we have got them because my goodness. What's this mean then? Oh, it's like on Geometry Dash. Oh, heck, what happened there? It's like on, it's hard to see the spikes. Come on. So I got to jump over this and then I can bounce on that little yellow thing. Oh my goodness. Okay, come on. This time I'm going to jump on it and, right, now where do I go? How about down here? Watch, it's just so fast and you don't know what's coming. Okay, fast forward through this. Oh, okay, right. So now I can bounce on this yellow thing and make, no, I really can't. How about we just go right here instead? Oh, I'm on the other side. Maybe I was meant to go this. Oh, I seem to die an awful lot. Oh, yes. Did I make it to a new? Yeah, I made a new screen. No, can't go up there. Down here then. Oh, yeah, down here. Checkpoints are excellent. Whoa, complicated. This is cool. So I guess I go left. Oh, secret room. A secret room. But I want to go across. Oh, checkpoint. Yep, good. Oh, my goodness, it feels like Geometry Dash. I think it's the same sound. We could do it like a particle explosion, couldn't we? So thank you everyone for your awesome projects. I know I can't show them all here, but they are all so excellent. Well done. But with that, we have reached the end of another episode. If you enjoyed the video, then smash the like button and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. The next video will be here before you know it, and you don't want to miss it because we will be looking at, finally, moving platforms. Oh yeah! These videos remain free to all, but if you're a loyal fan or an educator, then please consider joining the channel membership to help support me to make these cool videos. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great week ahead, and scratch on, guys!